People of Reddit, what's the craziest thing that's happened this decade? The New Horizons spacecraft getting within a few thousand miles of Pluto and transmitting clear pictures of Pluto back to Earth. Panama Papers being released and then swept under the rug. Also maybe the annexation of Crimea by Russia. Gonna have to say the Hadron Collider confirming the Higgs boson particle. That it cray. The first photo of a black hole. Evolution of the mobile phone. We lost a ducking plane and still haven't found it. Donald Trump becoming president. The explosion of social media. Leicester City winning the 2015-16 Premier League. Dude, we sent a rocket into space, and the thrusters came back and landed, right side up, at the same time. I think the craziest thing in my opinion was LEGO detecting gravitational waves. That it's insane if you actually read up on it all. The Bataclan siege. A couple dudes with AKs just going through Paris killing people, ending with 130 plus people dead in a single night. That people think Baby Yoda should be meme of the decade. If you had told anyone in either country that Donald Trump would be the president of the US and Boris Johnson would be the prime minister of the UK, they would have laughed at you. That 7-1 Germany vs Brazil match in the World Cups. The rise of Bitcoin, love it or hate it, the fact that a digital object cannot be copied and thus transmit value is pretty mind-blowing. I realized that the Bitcoin network first came online in 2009, so I added OSI the rise of the college admissions scandal. I think we all knew it was happening, but the fact that people actually got caught and put out there for it was nuts. Also, the whole Jeffrey Epstein ordeal was pretty crazy. As for happy things, how Marvel was able to take beloved comic book characters and make one of the most successful movie franchises in history in only about a decade. That's pretty crazy. Edit. Thanks for the silver. I don't deserve it, but I'll certainly take it. Lol. That Las Vegas shooting was super crazy. Lots of different perspectives with the cell phone videos, and even more once the casino released theirs. Ahem. 2010 Lady Gaga wore a meat dress. 2011 planking, and the deaths that followed. 2012 people thought the world was going to end. 2013 the cup song. 2014 the ice bucket challenge. 2015 the dress. 2016 Pac registered Simon Go, and the deaths that followed. 2017 US got a total solar eclipse. 2018 the false Hawaii missile warning. 2019 first photo of a black hole. Other things to note in the 2010s, in random order, there was 2 royal weddings. Gay marriage became legal, despite the homophobic commercials that asked us not to. Streaming companies took over. Bye bye cable. Uber was created. YouTube careers started taking off. VR was created. For mainstream media, The Walking Dead became a show. Smartphones. Instagram. Edit 1. Grammar and corrections because I need to be specific. Edit 2. Hot diggity damn. Thanks for the silver. There's a genocide of a people happening. And not only is the world doing nothing, they are negotiating trade deals with them. We all got our genitals out for a deceased primate. IDK if you guys remember, but people started ducking eating soap for fame. I broke my ankle 6 times over the span of 1 year. The fact that Epstein didn't kill himself. Some contenders. Tinder. Leicester City. Jeffrey Epstein. Instagram rise. Microplastics. Vuvuzelas. Panama Papers. Disappearance of MH370. Gangnam Style. Fukushima. Gaddafi. Ice buckets. Fire festival. Fidget spinners. White and gold blue and black dress. What did the fox say? Notre Dame fire. Tide Pods. Christina Grimmie. Game of Thrones. In Spotify. School shootings. Black Lives Matter. Bill Cosby. Removed Facebook. Anti-vaxxers. Brexit. Sussex. Tesla. Eclipse. Hurricane Harvey. Forest fires. exploding Samsung, fake news, Star Wars reboot, Bitcoin, Taylor Swift, Frozen, influencer, gay marriage, black hole photo, Hawaiian tree snail extinction, Prince, Bowie, Tom Petty. The Panama Affairs, billionaires hoarding wealth abroad without any consequences. It still baffles me that everyone already seemed to forget. The Black Death or nuclear war. Oh, that happened in 2026. I was not supposed to tell you that. Turning from age 6 to age 16. Current fires in Australia. At 27 years of age, I kissed a girl for the first time. The Las Vegas shooting and America's attention span for tragedy. IMHO had exposed how horribly desensitized we are as a nation to mass murder. Boris Johnson and Donald Trump as Prime Minister of the UK and President of the US. Elon Musk sending a car to space. Tool actually dropped a new album. I'm so glad we didn't have to wait 10,000 days like some feared. That stupid bloody referendum. I single-handedly got a kid expelled from my school for rape sexual assault. If you're reading this, Lucas, how are things? Did you like what you did to me and 6+ other girls? Keith Richards failing to die yet again. Sandy Hook. 20 very young children and 6 staff members lost their lives because of a very sick and disturbed individual. You would have thought everyone would demand gun legislation banning AR-15 style semis after this guy killed nearly every person he shot. He targeted small children whom he'd never even met. But what was the response to Sandy Hook? Instead, the NRA became more popular. More firearms have been purchased. More mass shootings have occurred. 49 were killed at Pulse in 2016, making it the second largest in US history currently. The Vegas shooting was just barely over 2 years ago, which killed 58 innocent people, making it the worst public mass shooting in the history of the USA. Things didn't get better after Sandy Hook. Instead, we have arseholes claiming Sandy Hook was a hoax. We have the media and politicians directing the debate toward video games causing violence. We have schools practicing active shooter drills. We're debating if school teachers should carry firearms, etc, etc. What the actual duck? I'd say transistors getting into single-digit nanometers is pretty impressive. They're getting close to the limits of the laws of physics. Trump got elected. I'm sorry, I'm Canadian and that's the first thing that went through my mind. No offense. I just can't believe that planking happened this decade. I can't remember if it was actually this decade or in the final years of the last one. And it might not have been the craziest thing, but it certainly was funny. As an April's Fool's prank. 4chan had a box you needed to uncheck to not have the things you wrote posted as a Facebook status as well. People will generally celebrate M00T on there, but B was raging that day. It was glorious. Edit. This was 2010. Trump and the Brexit referendum result happening in the same year. Stern reminder to the Western democracies that it's not just the Middle East plus third world countries having ridiculous election results that jeopardize nations. It was once a major achievement when the Soviets expended state resources to develop and launch Sputnik 1. Then last year a billionaire just yeeted his car into orbit for PR. How connected people are to social media, and how disconnected they are to reality. It scares me sometimes. Some crazy it happened to me, but it didn't exactly have far-reaching consequences for the rest of the world. I accepted that I'm transgender. Notre Dame being catastrophically damaged in a fire seemed like one of those never coming down historical buildings, but even the stonework was hurt. For me, it was to go from high school dropout pothead to 4.0 pre-med student on track for medical school over the course of 3 years. Bath salts. I remember that drug became a thing around the time I went to college. After a month living in the Ottawa Valley, I hear a story about a guy that got high on that stuff and tried to eat some guy's face not far away from my campus. Now that's crazy. Those clowns' attacks from 2016 were up there. Trump being elected and China becoming like Nazi Germany. The fact we had a clown scare in the October of 2017 or something. Dude, lots of crazy it happened. I got a BF, then broke up 3 years later. I got my own flat, and I'm getting therapy and meds after 10 years of depression and anxiety. Definitely has to be Malaysian Airlines Flight 370 back in 2014. Not just the mystery of it at the time, but even now the final report is ambiguous. No confirmed theory yet. Whack. I'm still alive. I tried ending it 2 times this decade and I'm not dead. Billions of dollars worth Instagram influencer Instamiddle industry. The story of EY, a major professional wrestling company successfully airing on primetime television in America after the WWE had a monopoly on the market for the past 2 decades. All of it stemming from an online bet that a group of independent wrestlers and minor league wrestling feds couldn't sell out a 10,000-seat arena in 2018. And guess what? They did. In under 30 minutes. Yale made a reality TV host president for starters. The crazy thing at the end was how they thought Trump can fit in a peach like WTF. Getting a picture of a black hole. The creator of several beloved TV series, including Father Ted, rallied the users of Mumsnet to campaign to get national lottery funding taken away from a charity that supports transgender youth. This upset a lot of people, amongst whom was a leftist politics and gaming YouTuber, who decided to do a charity stream of Donkey Kong in order to raise money for the charity in question. Over the course of the stream, he had guest appearances from John Romero, Chelsea Manning and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, among others. He raised $200K and was given a commendation by the Scottish government for his work. Look at the combination of things involved in this affair and question reality. Fire Festival. So much scams. The clown sightings of October 2016 that no one talks about anymore. For me, I moved out of my parents' home and then immediately moved back in because my apartment burned down. Older person here. The craziest thing is the smartphone. No question. Absolutely revolutionary and mostly not in a good way. It's everywhere too. Even remote towns around the world. I feel bad for all the young people who only know this world of relentless comparison, surveillance, ghosting, flakiness, etc. It is hurting you. Me pooping over 350 times and not a single time water hits my ass. That US Americans may Donald grab M by the pussy Trump president. I have an American-Canadian bias, but 1. The rise of right-wing populist leaders, Trump, Duterte, Orbán, etc., who embrace more authoritarian tactics. 2. The Islamic State, notable in terms of violence, ability to inspire lone wolf attacks, and control of actual, physical territory. 3. Climate change related natural disasters, like wildfires, droughts, and stronger hurricanes. 4. The global refugee crisis. Tons of people have been displaced from Syria, Iraq, Myanmar, Afghanistan, Venezuela, Central Africa, and the Northern Triangle of Central America. 5. The devaluation of expertise and fact. Anti-vaxxers refuse to trust doctors. Climate deniers don't listen to scientists. And partisans call reputable sources fake news if they don't cater to their biases. I think the internet has really exacerbated this problem, because it's made it easy to become an expert by consulting Google. Betty White's still here on copyright airing. The One Piece still hasn't been found. Practical artificial intelligence finally stopped being 20 years in the future, where it had been for the previous 60 years. And that is gonna make the next decade really interesting.